Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be revisiting a topic we've previously touched on, that is using subtotal. So subtotal is a really beneficial and powerful function in Excel that we can use, especially when we're first initially looking at our data to either draw some conclusions, or actually that we can keep in our data what again helps us draw conclusions and analyse data as we filter and pass through the data. So what we have in our example here, and the reason we want to touch back on it again is one, just to reiterate the importance of it, and two, to actually go through maybe a more of a real world example where we've got quite a bit of data. So what we've got in our example data is we've got some information about location, so we can see we've got the country in column A, and I was going to say United Kingdom then, and so we've got the United Kingdom, United States, and then in B and C, or in B, we've got some cities. And then in C, we've got days of the week, so you can see they run from Monday to Friday for each of the locations we have. And then we can see for each day, we've recorded the number of sales, the sales total. And then in column F, we've done an average sales. So all that one is in column F is just the sales total divided by the number of sales. So we can see what the average sale price was per each sale. So what we're going to do is, in our example, we'll say that we're going to share this with maybe some of our sales leads from different regions, and we want them to be able to see the information and get those totals, just so they've got that. Maybe they're not very clear with how to do formulas, and that's where subtotals are particularly very useful. So what we're going to do to start off is we're just going to scroll to the bottom of our data, and we're going to insert, or not insert, but we'll just use some formatting to create a new row as such. And what we'll do is we'll add it at the bottom here. And let's just highlight this information and just format those cells. So this is a good little catch up for anyone in terms of formatting cells, if you weren't familiar on how to do that. And likewise, if you want us to do a video on showing you how to format cells and a bit more of the tips and tricks of this, please leave us a comment below and we'll make sure we do a video to address that. So having now created this little section at the bottom here, I'm just going to call this subtotal, and then we can get started with putting in our subtotals. So the first one we want to do is to summarise the number of sales, and as we step through these, it might just seem not clear at first, but as we then go through the examples of as to why these subtotals are then very useful, hopefully that then become more clear. So number of sales. So the first thing we want to do is enter our subtotal to give us the total number of sales. And if I can spell subtotal correctly, yeah. And so what we want to do, and probably what we're going to be doing for the majority of these, is we'll be using the sum function. So if you were familiar that sum relates to the function number of 9, then you could just type 9 into the formula, else you can double click the option here. So I'm just going to type in there the number 9. And once I've done that, we'll hit comma. And you may be familiar or not that obviously these are all the other function variables that you're able to use, ranging from average, count, finding the max and min numbers, all the way through those various options. So once you've entered your function number, you can do comma. And then the last thing for us to do is to enter the range in which the data sits. So I'm just going to do this, do it down so we know our data is in the range of D2 to D31. So we just want to do a total of all that information, what's visible. For the next one, we can pretty much copy our formula we've got here. So to do that, you can either right click copy and then paste in column, or in the same row, so row 33 but in column E, or you could just literally click and drag this little button here, and then that will update for you. So you can see that's now focused on the column of E, and that's giving us a subtotal for all the sales totals. And all I'm going to do is just change this, that we can do is if we just format there, I've done it to the wrong cell, if you just format to that row there, and let's just change the fill color. And there we go, so we can see we've got that in there as well, and I'll just manage to get borders on there. So this video is turning into quite a one for recapping on how to do cell formatting. Get rid of that. So we can see we've got our total or subtotal for the number of sales, and we've got the same for the actual sales total, so the total sales amount. And the last one we want to do is to look at the average sales. So what we can do is this time, rather than use sum, we're going to use average. So to do that, we can just enter our subtotal formula, or function, so I say, open brackets, and this time we want to use average, so it's the top one, so we can use number 1. And once again, we'll just add in this whole range of column F, close our brackets and hit enter, and then we can see we have now the average sale amount for all of our sales. So we've now got these 3 pieces of information. So why did we want these, and why have I put them at the bottom? And actually what we can do is just delete that row there because it's not needed. So the reason I've got it in there, so if I now scroll back up to the top and we add some filters to our data, so we're actually able to filter the information. So as you can see at the bottom at the moment, we know overall total is 253. So that's the total number of sales. So that is the total from everything from row 31 upwards. So if I now want to filter on, say, Cambridge, this city here, what's going to happen is all of our subtotals are now going to update and only give us the totals for the information you can see on the screen. So everything what's been excluded in our filter won't be included in our counts here. So we've got total number of sales is 41, so you can see the total of these on show here is 41. Likewise for our sales total, we've got is 1200, just over, and for our average sale we can see that the average sale was 31, so we've got it there. And the reason I'm just testing it is you can see down the bottom right here, you can see the calculations for the selections you've made. So this is a particularly useful tool here as well. And so that's for Cambridge. If we wanted to include also an additional one for whatever reason, so maybe rather than look at Cambridge, we want to look at everything in the United Kingdom, we can obviously do so, and that'll give us the total here. So we're now able to, as you're filtering through the data, you're actually able to see this information firsthand. This is, like I say, particularly useful if you're sharing this information with maybe regional leads from different areas of your sales team, and as they're going through the information, it's beneficial to see this information at the high level and obviously the granular detail that you have in above. So we hope you enjoyed that video on how to use subtotal in some real world scenarios. If you did enjoy that video, please do give us a thumbs up and like this video. It'd be greatly appreciated and it really does help us out. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification button so you're notified of all our new videos that come out. In the description to this video, you also find links to our Instagram and Facebook, so why not give us a follow and check out those pages as well. And lastly, if you do have any questions, you can either reach out to us in the links in the description or drop us a comment below this video and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.